Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. We got a very interesting episode here for you today. We went to go record and we're calling James. We're calling him, no response. And like, did he say he was going on vacation? Yeah, he went on vacation. So we're like, oh shoot, we can't record all of this. But we still wanted to record. So we ended up hopping in the Discord and a bunch of Patreon members joined us, a bunch of Discord people joined us. At one point, we had probably over 20 people in there. It was pretty fun. And that's kind of this recording. Now, unfortunately, the audio is a little funky. I did go in and clean up a lot of the static and stuff, but don't get used to the sound quality. This was a Mark special for you, and you know how those go. But yeah, our next live stream. Well, maybe before I get into that. So basically, on this episode, you are going to be listening to us create a Magic the Gathering deck, and we were reskinning it into an old Terra theme Warlords deck. We're running a contest. I read the information there, but it doesn't hurt to hear it twice. To cap off the last few episodes on the time of Old Terra, we decided on doing our own Warlord lore round robin. We will pit one lore against the next, and eventually a Warlord will be born. So Phase 1. Submit your lore piece on your homebrew Warlord and or clan. The Warlord lore round robin will be read on the Lorehammer main. Man, you ever read shit? I do. I know I struggled reading this the other time, so it's nice you get to hear me read it twice. The winner is made the official Lorehammer Warlord of Old Terra. Rules entry. Submit to lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com. Word entry 750 to 1,500. And it can be about a warlord, a clan. Any writing style is accepted, whether you want to do like a poem or a narrative or like a lexicanum style entry, whatever you kind of want. Artwork's great, and if you include minis, that's bonus points too. Submission cutoff date is August 9th on, it's a couple weeks away. I mean, week and a bit. So that's kind of phase 1. You're gonna write in lore, and then we're going to gather all the lore and pitch you guys off against each other, and then read it all, and then choose a warlord. Now phase 2, and this is what we did on this episode. We were working on 2. The winner of the Warlord lore round robin will represent the commander of our very own unofficial Warlords of Old Terra Magic the Gathering deck. Other entries are also likely to be featured in our deck. This deck will be a reskin of the Games Workshop Forces of the Imperium deck, and it will be new artwork and new lore blurbs if it includes anything like that, but it's going to be the same rules. We're not messing with any of the rule stuff. We're just putting new artwork to it. This website will be sold on our brand new website that probably is almost launched at this point, maybe another week away, but we'll be letting you know where that's at. But yeah, we want to start doing some more merchandise, and I thought this would be a kind of cool spot to start. The phase 1 is everyone kind of submits stuff, and I know people on the Discord have been submitting for a little while now, and I probably have damn near 20 entries. I might have to do a little cut phase before I even get to the round robin, but I want to read it all, ideally. That's why we had to include that word cap. Some people were sending me in like the 50-page lore documents, and that's always overwhelming. But basically, whoever wins that is going to become the commander of the Magic the Gathering deck that we're making. So the commander is... who is it? It is Inquisitor Greyfax. So basically, we reskin that, put your artwork down on your warlord. Maybe you're some type of weird techno biomechanical kind of guy where you like to mix the flesh and the machine, and you got a third grafted arm, but it's mechanical. Who knows what you want to come up with? That's the cool part about Old Terra. You can kind of come up with anything that you kind of want. And then, yeah, that's kind of the plan. So this episode is just that. Once again, I apologize for the sound quality. Hopefully, it's not that bad, honestly. It's not where I want it to be, but next episode's going to be better. So we are live streaming again this Friday night at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Come join us on Patreon. It's been a lot of fun having people pop in and out and stuff. And we're going to continue that on. Hope to see you all there and enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to Lorehammer. We're doing our very first kind of Discord community event. It's interesting. We got a bunch of people on our Discord hopping in and out. I'm going to give everyone a quick rundown on some rules on how this is happening, and I'll maybe introduce Christian, but I don't know if I want to get that.
Needs no introduction.
This is true, but I'm not happy about it. Let's start with some simple rules before we talk about what we're getting up to. Everyone kind of keep muted, keep quiet. You can engage in the events channel and talk in there and see what's happening. I definitely encourage that. The concept is we're going to be pulling up artwork for the Magic the Gathering Warlords of Terra deck and working on that together. Other things we're going to be doing is reading some Warlords of Old Terra lore. And the other big thing we want to do is we do want to be able to talk to people as people filter in and out, but we just don't want 10 people yelling over each other. So please, when you come in, kind of keep yourself muted. If you want to talk, kind of bring it up in the events channel, the text channel, and just kind of let people know that, hey, I'd like to say something, and we'll get you on. But yeah, try to stay muted unless you're kind of brought to the floor.
Yep.
Gerald's going to be moderating for us, which is going to be sweet. Like I said, this kind of happened because we went to go record, and then James was on vacation. We're like, holy fuck, what the heck? How did we miss that?
Yeah, it was both our faults because he did tell us to. So no blame on James for this one. That was our fault.
No. This is the one time I think you don't email James complaints.
Or you can email him about me and Mark.
Or that, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the concept. It's cool seeing a couple people hop in here. I'm going to read our Warlords of Terra kind of description of what we're up to in this event, and then we'll kind of get going here. Warlords of Terra. To cap off the last few episodes on the time Old Terra, we decided on doing our own Warlord lore round robin. You can tell I wrote this and trying to read this because it's the dual combination of shitty. We will pit one lore against the next, and eventually a warlord will be born. Phase 1. Submit a lore piece on your homebrew warlord, and the clan or warlord lore round robin will be the... Yeah, that's just too much. It's nice on paper, but it will break your mind if you try to read such a thing. So this will be read on Lorehammer main. The winner will be made the official Lorehammer Warlord of Old Terra, leader. He's the Warlord of Old Terra for Lorehammer. So the rules of entry: submit to lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com, 750 word minimum and 1500 word maximum lore piece on your homebrew warlord or clan. Any writing style accepted, whether you want to do narrative or descriptive, or man, if you want to do some poems, I've had some great listener lores where people just write poems. However you kind of feel it best kind of fits your lore and you want to interpret it. Bonus points if you include artwork, and bonus points if you've actually made a mini of a clansman, a warlord, or whatever. The submission cutoff date is August 9th, so that's basically 2 weeks from right now. And that's kind of phase 1, is we're just writing lore for warlords set in Old Terra.
Let's go.
Phase 2, and this is kind of what we're also going to be working on primarily tonight. It's the winner of the Warlord round robin will represent the commander of our very own unofficial Warlords of Old Terra Magic the Gathering deck. So other entries are going to be likely featured in our deck. The deck is going to be a reskin of Games Workshop Forces, I think it's Armies of the Imperium. But we will do new art and do a new lore blurb. But all the rules are going to be the same. For example, there's Marinius Calgar in that deck. I think that's going to become our Emperor card, and maybe we develop that tonight. There's a very specific reason why I chose him. But all the cards are going to be themed around Old Terra.
Yeah, and if anyone, obviously this is geared towards anyone that's familiar with the game and matching what cards are best proxies, let's say, for your Old Terra theme.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to do this. I've done some cards in my own clan card, and it came out pretty cool. I'm gonna pull up kind of this. For those in the chat, maybe let me know if you can see my screen and stuff that I'm sharing.
I don't see it yet.
Let's find the chat here. Okay.
Oh, maybe because I moved it. Oh, here we go. There, now everyone should be able to see my screen.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, there you go.
Glorious.
If you're watching or listening to the podcast version of this, maybe you want to hop on over to YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel, so you can go watch this when the episode of the podcast is out.
Yeah, this might be more heavy on the visual content. So
Yeah, like as you can see on the screen, we have this great, this is my Techno Samurai AI art that we got going.
very nice.
Very nice. I've kind of been working on how we're going to develop this. I've laid out how the cards are. Like, we have legendary creatures that we're working on. There's a bunch of different creature cards. There's artifact cards. And basically my thought is all the lore that people are going to submit, we're going to kind of save these creatures for. And they're going to be slotted into those creatures, essentially. And the legendary creatures and all those kind of things.
So I'm probably the worst person to be your co-host on this just because I'm not super familiar with Magic, but I'm going to pretend to know what I'm talking about and do my best.
Yeah, and me too. And maybe even right now in the voice channel, if somebody is more familiar with Magic, we get them in to kind of work through this kind of with
System.
us. I've played the game a couple times. Now, thankfully, all we're doing is reskinning artwork. And Magic the Gathering has very loose lore. Like, the card can be so different than the artwork.
What would be the strongest card?
In our deck would be Inquisitor Greyfax. That's the commander. And when we do that Warlord round robin, whoever wins that is going to be put as that card.
Okay.
I mentioned the Emperor card. Maybe we talk about him for a quick second since I can pull him up on my screen. The reason why I chose him to be the Emperor is because he creates 2/2 white Astartes, which are basically token creatures. And I was going to change basically anything Astartes into Thunder Warriors. So this guy, he's one of the best cards in the deck. And then he spawns fucking, Thunder Warriors on people. So that's kind of how that art translates in my mind. A very simple one.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. Depending on where that Astartes keyword appears, though. Like, if it appears on too many cards, it might be an issue. But
well, the nice thing about this is it's a token creature, so it doesn't affect the other cards. It creates its own card individually. So, for example, this is that card. I have it right here, actually, if we're looking at the screen. Okay, well, it's not letting me pull it up, but it does exist. But maybe the next card that I was very much I'm laying out the foundation. What are the core concepts of the card? So we're doing old Terra. So we need to definitely include the Emperor, Custodes, Thunder Warriors, and Malkador should be in there somewhere. But then a lot of the other stuff is going to be what people have submitted. But there are some key players like that. So I was thinking, where does Malkador fit into our little deck? And I was thinking Belisarius Call. If we open up his card, he does that kind of same thing with a 2 white Astartes token creature. So he's summoning Thunder Warriors too. But he's also kind of a more magical, mystical creature where Calgar is more of that close combat guy. So it's kind of how I pictured that in my mind.
yeah. No, I can be on board with that.
Yo, what up?
I'm going to start. Yo, how's it going? We're just talking Magic cards. Just...
And he's gone.
going through this. He's gone. Yeah. No, I appreciate everyone being good with the mute button and all that. And like I said, we do want to have a very open mic section eventually here, but until we get to that spot, we'll kind of let people in and out. Let's go back to, my porn tab. Let's go back to that one. Yeah, so I can start filling this out. Like, Marinius Calgar, I'm pretty sure needs to be the Emperor, and I'm pretty sure Call needs to become the Sigillite because of the way they do those kind of summons.
Yeah, it makes sense.
There was a couple cards in this deck that had a similar outcome. So I was kind of thinking, what about them do we need to do? So the next very easily one, like I've already gone through this deck and kind of laid it out very simply. So the next one is this Thunderhawk card. And as we open that up, it does that same 2/2 white Astartes, which once again, we're going to turn into a Thunder Warrior creature.
Right.
So, the Stormbird would be a great equivalent. Instead of using the Thunderhawk, maybe we turn it to the Stormbird.
Was the Stormbird around during the Unification Wars? I know it was popular during the Great Crusade, but
Yeah. Lexicanum is usually good. So as we're doing this, the dropship was in Great Crusade.
Replace the older Skyland gunships with the unification one.
Okay.
There we go.
So we should call this thing the Skylance because it specifically does that Thunder Warrior, and it's that unique kind of card in the deck that does this creature.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
It's a new vehicle too. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, me either. That was kind of the one thing when going through the last handful of episodes. Like, we haven't recorded in 2 years, and there's been so much new stuff that's been added. It's been very cool. Not all of it's good, but
But it's new.
it's new, and we have it. Skylance gunship, yeah. So let's talk about a couple other cards that have that kind of unique.
Stardy summoning.
I think. Oh yeah, was this the other one? Oh yeah. So we have the Inquisitorial Rosarius, and that does that as well.
More like an item or an object.
Yeah, like in my mind, a simple one would be the Raptor Imperialis necklace.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. Raptor Imperialis. How do you spell Gothic words? That's fun. Okay.
Oh yeah, so I do.
Yeah. What is it?
I'm just guessing. IS. Imperial IS.
It is
Yeah.
IS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's the type of stuff I'm looking for in the chat. If you have an answer like that, you hop in. That's the clutch thing we need.
Perfect.
Yeah, they tortured me with 3 years of Latin, so you can always.
Oh, we're going to need you for the next little bit then.
Rips in the chat. As you can see, I have a couple of other cards highlighted. Like, we've been working through these blue cards and coming up with the Emperor, the Sigillite, the Skylance, the Raptor Imperialis. I have the Data Smith, and he's one that does something that's unique. So he creates a 4/4 colorless robot creature. So I don't know if I had necessarily a good idea for this guy yet. And I will tell you the other unique card in our deck so we can kind of know what we're working with, and then we can kind of break out what maybe we want to do with them. So the other one is this green one over here, this commander, company commander card. And as you can see, if you're watching, I do have the card pulled up, and they create a 1/1 white soldier creature. So basically, we have these two cards that one creates like a robot creature and one creates a company commander. Or, I mean, sorry, like a soldier, like a human soldier.
Yeah. Can you see those robot and soldier cards? Are they maybe give us an idea what we were summoning?
I wish my link was working. Now I can go into Discord and go into the old Terra channel, and I know it's going to come up real quick. Okay, so here they are. If we're looking at the screen, here's the robot card. Here's the soldier card. Yeah.
Well, if they're so the way I kind of picture the different kind of pools you can draw from for inspiration are like people who mess with genetics and mutants, people who mess with like psychers and like magic, and then people who mess with technology. So I think like the soldier could represent like the mutant side, like the biological messing. I guess I shouldn't say it has to be biological. It could just be like a road warrior human that's just like grizzled and knows how to survive in the wasteland kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the technology one, it depends. Do we want to introduce Men of Iron into this? I think they would be OP personally.
Well, I do know some people, some listeners are writing specifically that type of lore, where maybe the Warlord is that. So I think that would be a good creature card. I was kind of thinking with these two cards, and now I have posted them, I think, officially in the text channel properly, so we know what we're working with.
Up, we got something. Yep, here it is.
Here they come, boys. Thank you for the patience, everyone. Man, it's cool. There's a lot of people in the chat. I'm really happy everyone's here joining us. Very cool to see the people and the support, and thanks everyone for doing Patreon with us and doing all that. So here's those cards. What do you think of them? You know, we turn that Astartes Warrior into the Thunder Warrior. I was kind of thinking, we choose one of the Emperor's regiments, and we turn that soldier card and the company commander into kind of one of his specialized regiments. And then maybe we do the same with the robot one, or the robot one could just be our generic kind of Mechanicum, our version of that on the planet, you know?
So hold on. Like, does everyone have to be like in this deck? Would everyone have to be an Imperial? And I use Imperial loosely, like pre-Imperial ally.
No,
That's what I'm confused about here.
So I know you're not a Magic guy, so let me break down a little better because that is a great question. So these cards are the only ones that tie to something else. So I don't want anyone else making these cards. Like where a lot of these creature cards, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I just
where a lot of these creature cards, they are just going to be random warlords, and they can be a techno barbarian, they can be a Viking. You know, I'll have my samurai guy in there. It'll be the random collection of all the madness.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're good then. Okay. In which case, then I completely agree. Make them like the Geno 5/2 Chiliad or one of those.
Yeah. So maybe that's what we do next. We pull up some famous regiments and do that company commander card real quick. ChatGPT, I love it. And
that's Lexicanum. I'm sure it's also Lexicanum. I trust Lexicanum more than ChatGPT. ChatGPT has led me astray too many times.
Yeah, I know, but the sooner we give it our soul. Yeah, so Geno 5/2, the Warhounds, the Urshi Guard. I know a lot of these. I've heard of a lot of them. I think you're right. It should either be the Geno 5/2.
I think they're the most well known, or I don't know how old the Luciferian Blacks have been around.
Okay, let's see. Lucifer Blacks. Yeah, this would be a great time if anyone had the answer in the chat. Just pop in and just say this is when they were.
I do believe they were present right after the Unification Wars.
So maybe not necessarily during. So then, maybe we just do the Geno 5/2 Chiliad and like their leader. If we're going back into this, we do that like this. The company commander, he creates a Geno 5/2 Chiliad guy, and he's kind of the leader creature.
Okay. You might want to put the Geno 5/2 then under the soldier card, and then have the company commander, whatever you're going to name it, because you're going to confuse yourself.
Oh yeah. That's a great point. So I copy that, and we do that. And this guy becomes the Thunder Warrior. And then this is like...
You can go look up and see if there's any known commanders from the Unification Wars. A lot of the named characters will come up during the Heresy from the Legion book. So they obviously weren't around.
Yeah.
A few hundred years ago.
Yeah, there's some stuff.
You can make it more generic and just call it the Imperial Army too.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what we do. And the artwork could just be some generic looking soldier, you know? And maybe that's the better option. So we do Imperial Army leader. And then this would be Imperial Army.
Just do soldier.
Yeah. Just for people who are looking at the shared screen, give you another little teaser of some of the artwork I've been generating here for some of these cards.
Mark, why do you have pink-haired elven nudes?
No, this is the funniest thing. I'm like, yo, generate Christian.
It's Jesus.
Oh man, that's so funny. But yeah, here's sometimes I was trying to get some Exterminatus, and we've been able to dial in some interesting looking cards for sure.
Okay, sweet. I like that.
This was kind of what I was getting when I was doing the Emperor vibe. I know it's not Emperor-y and it could use some work, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm not liking the Emperor ones. I mean, I like them
this guy
as their own thing, but not as the Emperor.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're way too like spiked and like decay.
Yeah.
Yeah, some cool landscapes here. So yeah, there's a nice little teaser of some of the artwork that we've been able to kind of generate and fuck around with.
That's just something you dreamed last night, and you're like, if I put the words in, what?
Yeah, that was the start of the chaos. That was literally the first one.
I think the art style I want to go with is this preset Qubit version 2. I think it generates this kind of cool background and like it's a very interesting style. What do you think about it?
I don't know that it necessarily screams 40K or Age of Strife necessarily, personally. But,
this card specifically, no. Like maybe I know you can do cool stuff like selective edit, and then you change just the background. So you take that soldier and that you could put him in front of a hive city. So we can do stuff like that too. Because yeah, you're right. That's maybe the question. Like when we're doing these cards, do we want them in front of stuff, or does it like, there's a bunch of different art styles here to look at. Like
definitely anime. I think anime screams 40K.
Like here's another kind of style. If you maybe like that one more.
Yeah, I think that one's getting a little more.
Or let's give you one more before we just kind of jump back into what we were working on. This was just a quick little teaser for everyone watching the screen.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like the background of this one. That one definitely gives Age of Strife, Decaying City.
Yeah. So that was the other one. With this one, so this one is preset Vibrant, and I'm using Night Cafe to generate all this, by the way. So yeah, that's kind of the concept of what we're up to, If we jump back all the way to...
Hey, Mark, you got a guy in the text chat making a recommendation for the rules.
Marcus, do not use Army. Magic the Gathering is a specific rule for the A-Mass mechanic. You'll run into weird issues. Soldiers is a lot more evergreen. Man, maybe can you unmute yourself, hop into the channel, and explain what you mean? Because, like I said, I only have like maybe 5 Magic games under my belt, so hop in if you can. And I'm talking to you, Captain Card, by the way.
Or if you don't, someone who knows what he's talking about, if you're a big Magic player.
Okay, so he says, do not use Army. Magic the Gathering Army is a specific rule for the A-Mass mechanic. You'll run into a weird issue. Soldiers is a lot more evergreen. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, there are creature types. Those are essential in the mechanics for Magic the Gathering. And if you muck about with them, you have huge balancing issues because the effects pan out to different deck concepts. So yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Soldier is definitely something you can utilize in a better way.
Okay, interesting. That is good to know. Yo, Hurry Jaeger, it's nice to hear your voice. It's been a hot minute. That's cool to hear from you, man. When I was kind of looking at these cards, I was kind of like we don't want to change any rules. We just want to change the artwork and what the card is named. But like even the keywords, we don't really want to change too much stuff. We don't want to change too many mechanics, if any, really is our goal.
We are not qualified to do that.
No.
Like you said.
No.
Knock on effects that could very well end the world. We don't know.
We don't know.
Magic.
So the next card I think we should work on is this cybernetic datasmith, and once again that kind of creates that robot creature. So it's kind of that twofold card of, do we make this our pseudo mechanicum card that is kind of on the planet?
So I struggle with that because we know the mechanicum wasn't a part of, at least that part of the Unification Wars. So yeah. I would be hesitant. Like, the Emperor probably had someone working on tech. Someone was building the Thunder Warrior armor and weapons and stuff.
And maybe that's where we go. We look into some of the scientists that the Emperor has, So
like Imperial scientists maybe, or Imperial engineer?
If they exist, that's the thing, is I don't know necessarily that lore exists. That being said, we know about some genetic scientists that existed at the time, but that's not really kind of the flavor of the card.
Yeah. Now, the other thought, I know Mechanicum's not the best, but what if we did it where it's like Mechanicum Remnants? So it's like, or the Mechanicum Underground, or you just add that second word that makes it.
Yeah, you could say something like Proto-Mechanicus or...
Oh, that's a nice word.
Yeah, it's not totally accurate, but what I'm trying to come up with on the fly here.
But I just imagine, man, in Terra there has to be somewhere.
Yeah,
that
like
that,
they obviously existed. Obviously, right? Like I said, like they still had people manufacturing weapons and stuff. And then like when the human empire collapsed, like the colony on Mars was part of that pre-existing human civilization. So who's to say that there wasn't a faction that was still left on Earth when stuff fell apart, right? Like it all logically tracks. I just don't know that it exists, is all I'm saying.
I mean, the way I see it is, as long as like it doesn't explicitly say that this faction does not exist, then I don't see why you wouldn't have free reign as long as you're not told it doesn't exist or it can't exist.
Well, maybe we kind of go like something like this, like Tech Savants. I pulled up a couple cool names like Tech Savant Guild, Omnissiah Heralds, Augmented Cult. Cult. No, that one's too much because it says Mars. But
I like the last one there.
Arcane Mech Rights.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take that for a second and just make sure we don't lose it. Yeah, because this card doesn't have to be tied to those other cards. Like it doesn't have to be an Imperium.
Well, then the question comes up, like this would also be the perfect avenue to introduce Men of Iron too.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about different card types because we have legendary creatures and maybe, we have legendary artifacts. We have these artifact cards. Like maybe it fits into one of those. Like, for example, there's Knight Paladins and Reaver Titans. Maybe we change one of those to the Men of Iron, Yeah.
Yeah, like they obviously deserve to be a certain level of power.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Let's follow another train of thought here. What's the lore on the Blackstone fortresses? I have the game and everything. And those little spindle creatures?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
What are they? Are they left over from the Dark Age of technology? Are they human constructs or are they something different? Do you want
I
to
think
maybe
they're just unknown, but yeah, I got that kind of rumbling here.
Yeah, pull up the Lex on that because that could be a good avenue for those guys. And that's something that we do know about. That would be a cool link. Like they appear on the fortress. So
yeah, once again, this is the perfect time in the chat. If anyone knows what those are called, you save me a hot minute instead of.
I think they're called spindle somethings.
Yeah, I'm not even totally sure if I like that. I think that's too specific. Honestly, I know you're very like lore friendly, but this is all nonsense, man. Let's just get our creative freedom going. What do we really want to do with this card?
Well, I would say Men of Iron to be like that's and it doesn't have to be. That's where my mind goes automatically.
You know what though? Like a Men of Iron card that creates more Men of Iron cards. That kind of works. Because
who's to say like the Men of Iron, like you have like it could be any number of everything from like your cleaning vacuum robot to like your super advanced like military robot, right? So you could have a range of what they're capable of. So like it could be a horde of just like cleaning robots that have decided to kill their masters.
Yeah. That's funny. So when we're generating the art for that, we can definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, like they don't all have to be like super advanced kill bots. Just the leaders, of course, were, but everyone's part of the revolution.
Yeah. Okay, so the other card I have kind of highlighted that we need to talk about before we can actually start making some is this Birth of the Imperium card. I'll pull it up, and it does that same Thunder Warrior thing where it creates, the Astartes. But really, I think we can leave it the same. Like,
why not tear it down and make it unification?
Unification of the Imperium.
Yeah. That's good.
Just unification of Terra.
Yeah, I like that. Unification
That would be the
of Terra.
equivalent of the epoch, basically.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. 10 out of 10 from the chat so far. People are worried that people are just going to be yelling cock all the day long. I'm like, no, not my crew. That's me. I'm the weirdo here. All right, yeah, Unification of Terra. That's cool. There's a couple other cards like that that exist. Here I'm pulling up Defenders of Humanity. Oh, I just realized this creates Thunder Warriors as well. So we need to deal with that one too. So we'll turn it blue real quick so we know what to do with it. Yeah, so it creates Thunder Warriors, so defenders of humanity. I think it needs to turn more aggressive, like advancers of humanity, or kind of that tone. Subjugators of Terra. Yeah, that's not bad. If we're looking at that card, you can see the artwork is just one of the classic old art of a bunch of Space Marines standing shoulder to shoulder. There's chaplains walking up and down the aisle. Mm-hmm. So cool.
That's definitely one of my favorite pieces of 40K art. It's up there for sure.
It's been cool over the years to see how when that art first came out, it was black and white, and now there's like color attached to it. What do we think about that? Subjugation of humanity. What did you say, Gerald, your card was?
I said subjugators of Terra, but I mean, y'all feel free to pitch in something else.
Okay, we're going to chat bot.
We go from talking about men of iron to talking to a man of iron.
I know, the irony.
Yeah.
It is not lost on us.
I'm telling chatbot, I want to reskin the magic card Defenders of Humanity, but make it old Terra themed. The Heralds of Order. That's not bad. Ooh, we'll keep that in the back of the mind.
Heralds of Humanity.
Yeah, that's probably it. Heralds of Humanity.
It's like announcing that humanity's coming back.
Yeah, and then it generates Thunder Warrior cards, so that's always nice. Maybe we'll go one more time from the very top. I'll just kind of skim over the cards and make sure we didn't miss anything. So, the Commander's Greyfax, that's whoever's going to win the Warlord round robin. There's then legendary creatures. I definitely am going to take one of those cards and make it my clan. And the others are open for whoever writes lore, essentially. A lot of these creature cards will be open. The Golden Throne. What do we want to do with the Golden Throne card?
Oh, yeah, that one. Let's see the rules.
So, Arcane Life Support, it would lose. If you lose a game, instead exile the Golden Throne, and your life total becomes 1. Now, keep in mind, we can literally name this whatever we want, but if we wanted to do a 1-for-1 reskin, that's also an option. Sacrifice a creature and 3 mana in any color combination. So basically the concept of this card is when you take damage, your last little bit, you sacrifice some creatures in your hand.
I mean, we obviously cannot use the Golden Throne, but what about some kind of strategy? Something like Malkador's Gambit.
Okay. Now, my only thought with that is this card technically is a legendary artifact, and that Malkador's Gambit, we'll keep that in the back of our mind because that might be a great instant card or potentially maybe a sorcery card or enchantment.
That's true, yeah.
So it has to be kind of like an item or an artifact, eh?
Exactly.
I mean, there's lots of... So the cool thing about this era is there's lots of Dark Age of technology tech that's just floating around.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of, the Golden Throne is actually allegedly a modified piece of Dark Age of technology.
Yeah, the Emperor didn't make it. Well, he discovered it.
That's true, yeah.
And then, made it his own little comfy chair.
Yeah, and then they modified it. That does put an interesting angle on it, because then maybe... Yeah.
Well, maybe you just leave it then, honestly. It's the Golden Throne, and it does the same thing, and it is what it is, and always has been. And we just give it new artwork. A little bit
so that it's not like people do associate the Golden Throne with post.
Okay.
Post heresy, right?
I wonder if it was gold before the Emperor founded.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. He obviously gilded it and made it nice and everything. I think its initial purpose was the psychic aspect. The life support stuff was tacked on later.
Yeah.
Golden Throne, whose exact origin during the Dark Age of technology is currently unknown, was discovered by the Emperor sometime in the 30th millennium. Buried deep in sunken ruins under a huge and inhospitable desert on the continent of Asia.
Nice.
It could be golden age. It could be kind of run down and rusty and
Now, the one concept we could kind of go with is it is an Eldari webway portal, but I don't think like the Eldar made it. I don't think it should be made of Wraithbone. Like, that's a little far, eh?
Mark, I sent you something on Mexicanum on Discord. Check that out.
10 out of 10 in the chat, man. Appreciate that. Let's open that up. Dark Glass. So, Kriplup is saying Dark Glass is an ancient device dated back to the Dark Age of technology. I'm going to post a little pic in the chat for everyone. Yeah, that's a cool object. Consisting of a long crystalline station over the Catalyst Warp Rift, the Dark Glass was surrounded by a massive planet-sized hollow shell of a mirror-like material. The origins of the device are unknown, but is long thought to have been used to test the technology that would later result in the Golden Throne. Like the throne, Dark Glass was capable of accessing the webway. How's this speaking to you?
Yeah, I'm liking it. And it comes with art too, which is nice.
Yeah, so it kind of gives us a vibe. So I think, yeah, this is definitely what we kind of tack in there for sure.
And I'm learning like stuff I never knew existed. I love this.
Yeah, man.
I like when the community can talk back to us and like share.
So I'm just going through any other cards where it's like very clearly old Terra kind of themed stuff. There is a soul ring. Let's open up that and see if that's anything interesting. Lost to Time is the artificious art of trapping light in the distant star in the ring of a purest gold. So it's not really like, it's not iconic to old Terra, that card. We can ignore it.
It's not iconic to 40k either. It's a standard Magic card. It's just another artwork.
I was looking at that artwork and I'm like, there's other cards here, like Deny the Witch. Let's pull that one up. Because that one could be very much kind of the similar vibe of what are we doing with our sorcerer? So Deny the Sorcerer, very easy.
Yeah, I'm honestly not like, I don't see why you'd even have to change it, to be honest. But
yeah,
if we want to flavor all of them, that's certainly a runner up.
Yeah, I think, if you touch, like so far we've touched all of them. So I think we just keep touching them all slightly. Get our fingers in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Deep in the deck. Yeah.
Yeah. Really aggressively shuffle those cards,
I'd prefer to be sensually. Slow and sensual.
Oh, man.
now you're
The slapping fast sound.
Cue the saxophone music.
Oh, man. Yo, it was cool, man. One of my favorite parts about Lorehammer has definitely been our Discord community. We've been doing so much different stuff, and we used to have such an active voice chat. And even the other day, somebody was playing the new Space Marine 2 game. Somehow he hacked it. And it's exciting to see all these people. Yeah, Cripple Up. How was that?
Yeah, it got leaked, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've got it pulled up on my other monitor right now, actually.
Nice.
All of a sudden, we lose all our chat. Cripple Up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I'm excited to watch you play that another time. I'm super hyped with the Discord and what's happening. So let's jump back to the cards here while we're... so I'm just going through to see if there's any other ones that are clearly like 40k we could maybe leave. Oh, yeah. So this guy right here, the Vexilla Praetor, is just a custode. So we're going to maybe just call it a Custodes,
Yeah.
Legiones Custodes.
Legio. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, of course. Legio.
I'm watching you struggle with your cursor and typing. It's just...
Yeah, man.
So much makes sense now.
Listen here. I'm a professional.
We are not barbarians. We have technology.
Sister of Silence, that's another one. What do we think of them in Old Terra? I'm kind of like, no, kind of.
Were they,
What were they founded, do we know?
Around the same time as the Custodes, or was that way later?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
We're Googling it. It's shrouded in mystery, but it first appeared during the Great Crusade. Yeah, so this would be a nice time if we wanted to do an homage card to that, like instead of Sister Silent, we just do like null Null Sister, you know?
Yeah.
Null. Pariah.
Yeah, I
Blank.
like Null. Yeah, any one of those.
Yeah. No blank pariah. Any of that could work.
I like Null personally. It sounds less bad.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we're making some progress. We're almost through anything that could still be there. We're going through. Great Knight. Get that shit out of here. For the Emperor, that card looks like it could probably use our hand. So this card, for creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance and lifelink until the end of the turn. So this is a sorcery card. What do we think they were chanting for the Emperor back then? Like, what was the Thunder Warriors chanting? Thunder Warriors Battle Cry. That's what we need to know. For Terra and the Emperor, crush and conquer. I don't mind for Terra and the Emperor. By thunder, we prevail. Unite or die would be another very kind of unification.
I kind of like that one actually. It's like a little cheesy, but it's like kind of makes sense.
We got a couple people that are saying
and like
for mankind.
For mankind. For the future of mankind.
For humanity.
Glory to the thunder.
Now you're just making me think of Thundercats.
Thunder. I think Unite or Die, man. I think that's really sums up the Unification Wars.
Yeah.
Another great card here is Exterminatus. And I think that would just be easy to change into like a sector Exterminatus, you know? Reflavor it very lightly like that.
What was the name for those freaking super weapons that appear all over 40K?
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Man.
There's like one on Armageddon.
Yeah. I feel like my 40K brain needs to get working again after 2 years, you know? Yeah, I'm just Googling what that. Oh, yes, Ordinatus weapon. How did we forget Ordinatus weapons, man? Now, my only thought with that one is this is technically a sorcery card. With that Ordinatus weapon, maybe we turn the Reaver Titan into an Ordinatus weapon.
Well, hold on, because Ordinatus weapons can be psychic weapons. They can be any weapons.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, like we could even dial it in and have multiple Ordinatus weapons, but call them both kind of something different, like, you know, Ordinatus Extremis and Ordinatus Biologics, or, you know, whatever kind of thing we come up with. We could use it multiple times. There is 100 cards.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put it on the back burner. I think we definitely should tap into it because Ordinatus weapons do come from the Dark Age of technology, so...
Okay, so I'll put that one kind of as a question mark and would include it either way here on one of them, both of them, whatever. Yeah, I think that's really all the big ones.
Redemptor Dreadnought?
No, like that's Primaris. You know, we can turn that literally into anything. It could be, since it's an artifact creature, somebody could make that their warlord, or, you know, it could literally be anything, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think let's now kind of work through the process of making one card now that we kind of got these big ones laid out. I think the easiest thing would be maybe when I was messing around with stuff, I was having trouble creating some things. Other things were easier. Let's start with a land card. And basically these are, you gather land cards and then you can play more creatures the more land you get. So when we're doing these, they're kind of like these areas that you conquer essentially and use. So I'll pull up, let's pull up this one first. The Choked Estuary. I found this was the best just to give some great Google or some great names was, can you give me 10 alternative names for the Choked Estuary magic card? So the names that we got here is Toxic Delta, Blighted Outflow, Wasteland Confluence. You know, Plague Touched Inlet, Contaminated Tribituary,
Tributary.
Corrupted Bay, Noxus Junction, Warp Poison Channel, Mutants Runoff. Oh, I kind of like that one.
That one sounds cool.
Rad Tainted Estuary.
Okay, hold on. Wait. I have a counter theme for all these cards.
Yes.
What if you used the territories that we know existed? Like the lands are actually like regions, like or like High Brazil or...
Yeah, because we know all those exist.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that up right now on Lexicanum, and we'll have a list of kind of all the different places, because that's one way to do it for sure. When we're looking at just on Lexicanum, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cards, or 19 different provinces. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 20. So yeah, that should work out. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more. So how do we think the best way to break that down is?
I think any ones that fit. Like there's some that we don't know anything about really, and then there's others that have like more of a thematic element or that we can guess is implied based on where they are. So like there's a wasteland one I saw there would fit in any kind of wasteland card. So if you go to the list, is there any wasteland that are explicitly from the wastelands?
Hold on, I got a way better way of doing this. If we got 1 second, does any of these provinces fit the lands? Okay, we almost need just one more second here, and then we just need to take these guys here. I'm just basically asking Chatbot to align cards and territories. You know, it will do this. It knows the cards.
I'm a little more suspicious of technology.
It's funny because it's a lot smarter than you, I can assure you. Having dealt with the two of you.
Well, fine then. No, we don't have to commit down this path. That just occurred to me.
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's saying Choked Estuary could be Frank or Ursh. Darkwater could be, you know, it's giving some options that maybe we trace out one at a time and just see where it takes us.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Islands, lands, one more. Plains there. Okay, sweet. So let's start at the beginning. The Choked Estuary, the blighted outflow of Ursh. If I'm going to read that quickly, what Ursh kind of is all about. Ruled over by the tyrant Caligan, Ursh employed powerful psychers in its armies and used their might to unleash dark warp powers on its enemies. This did not avail him when he faced the forces of the Emperor who defeated and killed him. So basically they're psychers, so their lands could be like warp tainted.
Yeah, corrupted. Yeah.
But I guess the card name would be the blighted outflow of Ursh. Yeah. How does that sound for the card name?
I don't mind it.
Okay. I like that. That was a great suggestion, Christian.
All my suggestions are great.
They're both great, mighty, and only half true. Blighted outflow. So let's do the other one that it kind of suggested was...
I like Psycher's
what's that? Psycher's Mire?
Yeah. I was just reading it. We don't need it. I'm just saying I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is Darkwater Catacombs, and they're saying the Tempest Galleries of the Ethnarchy. So when we read about them real quick, the Ethnarchy is known to have commanded formidable forces consisting of genetically modified warriors known as Ursus Cassus. Dangerous weapons from the dark age of technology. They enslaved psychers. The first attempt by Imperial forces to capture the Ethnarchy strongholds were earlier in the war had cost the lives of 20,000 Thunder Warriors. Yeah, interesting. I think actually let's finish off this other card. Let's generate some art and this blighted outflow of Ursh. Let's see if we can generate a cool image for this.
Wait, don't go away too yet.
Okay.
Would you like the Catacombs one just because it's underground and the Ethnarchy 2 are known for their underground power generators? Like it all kind of like works.
Yeah. Man, Chatbot's good for stuff like that. Like that's literally what it said. Subterranean power generations feeding the Ethnarchy's power fields.
And like you do that with Catacombs, like power generating catacombs, like it all just kind of...
Yeah. I'll put it in. It's in there. Let's go to the blighted outflow of Ursh. I'm going to pull up some AI and let's see what we can kind of come up with here. My inspiration for this was definitely the Blanchitsu style art. How do you spell that? John Blanche's style.
Does it have a style name? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it does have a specific style name.
Blanchitsu?
Yeah, Blanchitsu. Yeah.
Just Google that. Blanchitsu.
I wish I knew how to spell it, my friend. Look at what's happening, Christian. This is on you. Now I'm up to Kate Winslow. Kate Blanchett, I mean, sorry. It's fucked.
Your own history is betraying you there, my guy. Careful what you Google.
Now remember, this is my not my computer I'm using. This is my
ITSU, just like Jiu-Jitsu.
okay. We'll go back to that page.
Jax, how dare
Blanchitsu.
you?
Yeah, like that. Okay. What is Blanchitsu? It's Terra. Yeah. So that's like his style that he's known for. So we're gonna take that.
I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah,
That's
man.
neat. I'm learning so much just from doing this.
Yeah, so we're gonna toss that in there. Other words we'll probably include would be like 40K or maybe like punk, gothic punk, maybe.
I do sci-fi gothic.
Sci-fi gothic. You know, you can toss punk in one time just for the fuck of it. And then we will do landscape because we're doing that. And then the card that we're trying to make is the blighted outflow of Ursh. So maybe we just generated like pipes oozing green, you know, liquid or something like that into a wasteland. Let's see what happens. If you're in the chat and you're okay, that's just not even remotely.
Whoa.
No, we're not. I gotta dial it in. This is not quite the right. The other one was
Any of your 90s screensaver, you know? The pipes just generate infinitely.
okay. Fuck. Sometimes it doesn't quite know what to make of things, and you gotta try a couple times to really dial in that. Okay, so now we're almost getting closer, but we got way too many pipes.
Too many pipes in there.
I'm doing a Blanchitsu landscape of a wasteland full of toxic.
Waste.
Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're still getting this. Maybe it's not quite reading the Blanchitsu right. Let's maybe grim, dark, gothic, punk vibe.
Okay.
Bye.
Hey, Mark,
I
got
know
one for you.
sometimes. Yeah, send it on.
Okay, it's going up to the text channel.
I know sometimes I get great luck with some of the results, and then other times we get lost in madness of it all. Oh, okay. So I don't know if people can see Gerald's what he's come up with. That's
No.
10 out of 10.
Mark, you gotta share it on your screen, dude.
I wish I knew how to change it. Does anyone know how I can change it from sharing my screen to sharing?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a great one, though.
Yeah. That's,
What did you use for that, Gerald?
It said industrial pipes oozing radioactive waste into a wasteland river. John Blanche style art with dull tones, and then the preset was.
You
just
want to
color
copy and
painting.
paste that to me?
Yeah.
And then I'll just put that and I'll generate one, and I'm sure it'll come out pretty close, and then people can really see. Man, very nice. Everyone's so nice. Okay, let's see what we get when we get this. And what style did you use there?
Color painting.
Color painting. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that one. I also didn't mind the vibrant one when I was. Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
see,
a
look at
cool
that.
one.
Right there.
That's
See,
perfect.
this is what we're talking about. I don't know what pipe city I was on. Sometimes you get lost in these, but other times you get Gerald on it, and he's a hero.
I try.
So basically what I want to do with this now is we're going to save this card. I'm going to download it. I will now... What was this card named again? Ursh.
Dark Estuary of Ursh or something like that. Choked Estuary.
Blighted Outflow. Yeah, so that is basically one card done. And now the concept of it, that is there is... I'll show you kind of the process of how we're actually making the cards. For those of you watching Magic the Gathering Card Maker, it's pretty easy. So here it is. You will just pretty much upload a picture. This is the most exciting podcast of all time. Okay, so that's uploaded. I'll just do generate. And now you can see that has uploaded on our card. And then we can just easily fill out all the other little bits of information. I just gave it the name, save, generate. But yeah, so that's very easy, and that's how it's done. How does everyone feel about this Magic deck? And if we kind of make this process and go through it,
just have to do it 100 more times, 99 more times.
Yeah, you know. I think that card's tight. I think we can pretty much move to the next suggestion it had, which was that Tempest Galleries of the Ethnarchy, subterranean power generators feeding the Ethnarchy's power fields. I think I'm going to take most of that prompt, honestly, and put that into the generator.
Yo, we should do some Pokemon, some 40k Pokemon cards too.
That would be cool, man. Hey, if these sell out, I'd happily make some more. That'd be fun.
Dude, hear me out. We got lots of 40k animals from our bestiary and our just like that have been coming out in the games. Weird. We should do it, man. Let's do it.
Rotolids, say no more.
Put a pin in that. We're coming back for that one.
All right, so this is what I got. I think we need a better word. Feeding power fields. Okay.
Use catacombs and power jet. Yeah. Use the word catacombs
Instead of subterranean or subterranean catacombs.
Both. Yeah, just do both. Whatever. I find the more words you throw at something, the better it gets.
Interesting. Maybe that's what I'm not doing. Maybe I'm not being descriptive enough with these. Subterranean catacombs. Maybe we do like crypts covered in power cables, you know?
And then do like glowing plasma energy, lightning, like words like that.
Underground bone crypt.
Someone else in the chat.
All right.
Yeah, it's closer. I'm thinking something with like glowing, like plasma type energy. Like something that looks active.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this is a picture from behind your computer desk, Mark.
Yeah. Underground bone crypt and plasma conduits. We'll try that. Okay, so still that's not even remotely. How can we dial this in? Let's do underground plasma conduits and just see if we can get that kind of happening, and then maybe we can build some bones on it.
It seems to I don't know, it seems to be doing this like pattern thing for you, Mark, where it like
you get locked in a specific thing.
Yeah, I don't know what
but
you
what
did
about
or
this one?
doing. It's closer. It's not quite what I imagine. Like I have a very specific vision in my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Could you try to describe it maybe a little?
Let me close my eyes and take you down a linguistic journey. Okay, fine. Just replace me with the robot. All right.
Well, you can still try. I'm just, I wish you would try, Christian, because it spouted more.
Yeah.
Ancient, dark, humid, eerie, glowing, rusty machinery, hidden dangers. How's that? Let's see what that does. Let the machine talk to the machine.
The machine has failed.
I like what Ursat's posted.
At this pace, you should just paint the picture.
Ooh!
Whip out your Microsoft Word paint, Mark, and start getting to work.
I do like what Ursat's generated. What do you guys all think of that one? Ursat's, what did you type to get that? And let me try to generate that on my screen. Thoughts on that, Christian? Is that kind of a little closer? That's very like Matrix almost.
For the record, I'm on my phone trying to do this, so I might have some limited capabilities.
No, good. That is very different than what he kind of came up with.
Yeah, that's something more what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Like dark and like blue electricity and plasma and just like...
Here's another one he just posted.
More subterranean. I don't want to see the sky.
I still like the first image.
Yeah, I'm thinking the first image too.
Here we go.
Okay, so that very bottom one I like that one too. I could reskin Ur's lands as well. How would I reskin? What am I Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I like that one. I think we could go with it. What do you kind of feel?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. You're my friend that's real here.
Are you talking to your machine lovers again?
Shit.
Has
I like the third one.
He's got one more.
Last one, yeah. I think I like the one with the There's 3 hearts popping up on this one. I think that's what we go with.
The chat vote is spoken.
Yeah, I'm gonna save that. And this one was called.
We got 3 hearts on one and then 3 flames on another one. So
Yeah, so this card was called Tempest Galleries of the Ethnarchy. Man, I got so many tabs open. It's crazy. There we go. No, I got 2 cards now. So that's great. Let's talk about the next card on the roster. Maybe do we want to... Let's do one more card and then we'll open up the chat room and people can kind of just tell us what they feel. Maybe we'll read a listener lore off. But let's do this one last card. And then I think that's a good concept of what we want to do. People can kind of see what we're working towards and be able to place orders and all that kind of stuff. And we'll move forward eventually. But the next one is Exotic Orchard. And that's High Brazil's Verdant Grove. Known for its semi-autonomous existence and unique culture post-defeat. You know, it's based off Brazil. I live very close to Brazil. It's a beautiful spot. You know,
What is it going to look like in 30,000 years is the question.
Let's see what happens when we take that. And we'll just put this into our little holding pattern area card here. Pull up this.
I'm just hesitant for anything like greenery in this era. I'd do something more like a protected orchard, personally. Like if there is a tree, it's like highly protected and babied because it's like the only one for miles.
I get what you're saying for sure. So maybe we'll do lone tree in a... Like I picture like maybe like the tree on top of a skyscraper growing out.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's more like what I'm thinking. Maybe not even just a lone tree. Like it could be a cluster of trees that are just like protected. But yeah, I'm just hesitant for anything like really deep forest jungly.
A few trees growing out of the top of dilapidated factory, maybe.
Yeah.
Gothic. Yeah. Gothic factory. Ooh, nope, that's not quite the right.
You might want to make it at night.
And I'll put dark in there. That one's not bad. That one's not quite the right style, but it's close. Yeah. Let's see what happens with this next one that we generate. Yeah, that one's... We're getting closer with that kind of prompt. What do you feel like?
Yeah.
Should we put it on like a mountain or like...
To a mountain plateau surrounded by wasteland.
I wonder if chatbot does better if... Okay, so how's this one kind of look? It's very like... Yeah, it avoids that green while still having nature.
I wouldn't mind a couple of leaves on it. Yeah.
Spots of green. Let's do that. That should add a little prompt of color, hopefully.
Too much.
Add the word few, you know.
Actually, that one, I could almost buy this one.
Yeah, you know, it's not bad. What do we think could make it a little more 40K, I wonder?
Just throw in the words grim dark.
Now we're getting a bunch of words. I like it.
You can see a hive city in the distance.
Oh, yeah, on that one. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that one's not quite it. That one, the trees were made into, like, hives almost. I think, you know, I wasn't too unhappy with, like, that one and this one, I think, were my favorites so far.
Yeah,
how do we feel?
I like this one the most.
And once again, the card name we're going for is High Brazil's Verdant Grove.
With the term verdant, I think it's implied that there's got to be some greenery to it. And it is a land... Like a green deck land, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it has some type of bullshit. Okay, so I'm gonna save that then.
Yeah, in the old Terra map, I think it shows there's still a little bit of green in the Brazil area.
That map I don't think is canon, but that also means we can do whatever we want.
I am the canon. All right, well, I think that's a great start. You know, we're gonna be able to go through these and just kind of keep with this process of making them. I think it's going to be a lot of fun when we get the submissions, and I think we should read one of those, Gerald. If you have it pulled up, we can get ready for that.
Sure.
Because these creature cards are going to be like, you know, I have my creature card ready. I'll just pull up once again his artwork, and then
your sci-fi samurai.
My sci-fi samurai. Look at that guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Gerald, take it away when you want, and we'll share one lore here.
Let's see here. Do you want the Roman Empire Reawakened or the Redmanes or Clan Redmanes?
Let's do the Roman Empire one because I can start generating art while you're reading that and just fuck around.
Okay, here we go. Roman Empire reawakened. Background. Era from the Age of Strife and Unification Wars. Capital city, Rome, Italy. Leadership. Governed by an emperor and a senate, mirroring ancient Roman political structures. Society and culture. Political structure. A blend of autocracy and oligarchy with an emperor and a powerful senate that oversees various aspects of governance. Military ethos. Highly disciplined with a strong emphasis on martial prowess and technological superiority. Economy. Primarily driven by conquest and resource extraction. Towns that cannot provide raw materials are either enslaved or used as raw materials themselves. Cultural parallels. Society and culture are heavily inspired by ancient Rome, including architecture, military tactics, and social hierarchy. Technological and genetic advancements. Manufacturing. Unique among techno-barbarians, they maintain advanced facilities for producing weapons, armor, mechs, and tanks. Genetic manipulation. Extensive use of genetic engineering and cloning to enhance physical and mental capabilities of their soldiers. Cloning. Cloned soldiers supplement their ranks, ensuring a steady supply of capable warriors. Military. Infantry, equipped with advanced power armor reminiscent of Roman legionary armor with energy shields and high-tech weaponry. Mechs and tanks, designed with both Roman aesthetics and cutting-edge technology that combine brute strength with tactical efficiency. Tactics. Employ strategies and the formations inspired by ancient Roman legions adapted to futuristic battlefields. Conquest and expansion. War strategy. Focus on rapid and decisive strikes to subjugate towns and cities and integrating their resources into the empire. Resource utilization. Towns that cannot contribute raw materials are repurposed, sometimes in brutal and resource-efficient ways. Notable features. The Senate and Emperor. The dual leadership ensures a balance of power, with the Empire leading military campaigns and the Senate managing internal affairs. Cultural preservation. Maintain and promote the Roman traditions, art, and literature as a means of unifying and distinguishing their empire from others. Factory towns. Each conquered town is either transformed into a production center or repurposed for its human resources, maintaining the empire's war machine. Military overview of the Roman Empire reawakened. Structure and organization. Core forces consist of legionaries equipped with advanced power armor, power swords, and plasma or gravity weapons. Auxiliary forces comprised of conquered armies augmented with advanced technology and genetically manipulated into formidable combat units. Command structure led by generals with a strict hierarchy reminiscent of ancient Roman military ranks. Positions such as senators, proconsuls, consuls, and the emperor provide overall strategic direction. Infantry. Legionnaires. Armor. Advanced power armor providing enhanced strength, protection, and integrated heads-up display system. Weapons. Standard issue includes power swords for melee combat and either plasma or gravity weapons for ranged engagements. Training. Intense physical and tactical training enhanced by genetic modification for superior combat abilities. Cloning and triumph. General cloning. Generals who achieve significant victories or triumphs are cloned with their minds copied into their clone legions. Clone legions are units comprised entirely of these clones, ensuring a consistently high level of combat performance. Restrictions. Clones are prohibited from holding political or high command positions, such as senators, proconsuls, consuls, generals, emperors, etc. Armored and mechanized units. Mechs incorporate Roman aesthetics with advanced mobility and firepower systems, and they serve as both frontline shock troops and support elements, providing heavy firepower and tactical flexibility. Tanks. Technology utilizing energy shields, advanced targeting systems, and high-power weaponry. Deployment. Used for both offensive operations and defensive fortifications, reflecting ancient Roman engineering prowess. Genetic and technological augmentation. Genetic manipulation, enhancements. Soldiers undergo genetic alterations to enhance physical strength, reflexes, endurance, and cognitive abilities. Monstrous transformations, including auxiliary forces, particularly from conquered armies, are transformed into superhuman or monstrous combat units. Technological integration, such as cybernetics, includes integration of cybernetic implants to enhance sensory perception, communication, and combat efficiency. Surviving Dark Age of technology, utilization of relic technologies from the Dark Age of technology, providing a significant edge over less advanced adversaries. Tactics and strategy. Roman tactics. Formations, adapted ancient Roman formations for modern warfare, emphasizing discipline and unit cohesion. Combined arms, including effective integration of infantry, mechanized units, and auxiliary forces to maximize battlefield effectiveness. Shock and awe combat doctrine. Rapid, overwhelming attacks to quickly subjugate enemies and integrate their resources. Resource utilization. Conquered populations are either incorporated into the Empire production machine or used as raw materials. Summary. The military of the Roman Empire reawakened combines advanced technology and genetic engineering with the disciplined tactics and organization structure of ancient Rome. Their emphasis on cloning victorious generals and transforming conquered armies into auxiliary forces ensures a powerful and relentless military machine capable of expanding and maintaining their empire through continuous conquest. The fall and legacy of the Roman Empire reawakened. Encounter with the Emperor of Mankind. Initial contact. The Roman Empire reawakened came into contact with the Emperor of Mankind during the Unification Wars. The advanced but numerically inferior Roman forces clashed with the Emperor's Thunder Warriors. Despite their technological prowess and disciplined legions, the Roman Empire reawakened could not withstand the might of the Thunder Warriors. The Thunder Warriors ultimately defeated the Roman forces, culminating in the death of the Senate and the Emperor. The Emperor of Mankind seized the advanced genetic research and technology of the Romans, incorporating their scientists and equipment into his own projects. The surviving Roman military, particularly the genetically augmented auxiliary forces, were repurposed for the Emperor's Astartes experiments, contributing to the creation of the Space Marines. Legacy. Despite their defeat, the legacy of the Roman Empire reawakened lived on. Some descendants and former soldiers continued to uphold Roman traditions and claim lineage from ancient Rome. The Roman influence persisted subtly within the Imperium, particularly in the structure and discipline of the early Space Marine legions. The fall of the Roman Empire reawakened marked the end of their independent power, but ensured their contributions to the genetic and military advancements of the Imperium, leaving a lasting imprint on the galaxy. Boom.
Man, that was cool. I like the Roman Empire. Like, we all can kind of just picture exactly what's happening and going on. And, they're talking about the Senate and you can get all tied in. We talk about how Horus Heresy is this kind of like pseudo-historical sci-fi gaming, but like old Terra is even more pseudo than that.
How many layers deep can you go?
So deep, man. I don't know if you guys have been looking at the artwork that I've been generating, just kind of listening to that. Like, this one I think is one of my favorite. They're these kind of clone guys. They've been enhanced. So he's, surrounded by a couple humans who are clearly shorter than him. He's got that like Roman style armor.
That one's tough. Like, I love Rome as much as the next guy, but like the whole aesthetic of the Imperium is also already space Romans.
Sure.
But I get what he's saying is like that influence came from somewhere. So like tying it to this Roman Empire kind of makes sense as a through line.
Yeah.
Like it obviously came from somewhere.
I mean, if you look at earlier, like our own history too, several groups, I'm not going to name names, also tried to basically recreate the Roman Empire as well. So it's, how many layers deep are we going here with the...
And I'll do it again. You can't stop me.
So that's the association you want to make. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like conceptually it fits for sure.
Cool. I like it.
I like the cloning element.
Yeah. It kind of, the Roman legionnaires were known for their uniformity, and even if they had auxiliaries, they'd try to either keep them their own little thing or they'd implement them fully into the legion, So it's kind of that uniformity, and yeah, very good. Yeah, that's kind of my thought on that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to hear what people have come up with. I know my email box is filled up with people submitting lore. So try to keep that 750 words to 1,500 words. 1,500, that's the right number. And you have basically 2 weeks until August 9th to submit. And this has been really fun. Do we want to let some people from the chat room jump in? We still have over 10 people kind of hanging out with us, just lurking in the chat. Does anyone want to come in and voice an opinion on what's been happening tonight?
Jax, come on down.
How's it going?
Hey, welcome, man. Welcome to the weird Discord call-in show that we found ourselves on tonight.
Yeah, I guess. As I said in chat, I guess I kind of sound like a broken record there, but I joined a little late. Don't know what you guys have already covered, but I don't know what to really say. This is all for Magic, right? Like a Magic game.
Yeah, we're basically
Alright.
reskinning the Magic deck Armies of the Imperium is the concept.
With lore. All right.
Thankfully, Magic, the lore and the cards are very loose. I was even surprised. I thought every card had a little lore blurb, one sentence on it. But I would say maybe only 25% of them do, if that.
Cool. I probably in chat I probably sound like a broken record, but I just had a bunch of ideas. None of them are good, but Fallout armor and kind of basing a faction off of the NCR. And the dumbest one I've had was baby Primarch cards.
Oh God, no! That will be for when we do a different game. Pokemon. No, those are the Warp Crodlets and other things. Yeah, man, that's funny. We'll come up with a card game for baby Primarch battling. Maybe we'll do a poker deck or something like that of Primarchs. Collective right.
Suggestion from the chat: garbage pail Primarchs.
Yeah, there we go.
You get custom dolls. You can plushies. You can cuddle.
That's kind of the concept. Is we're leaning into the Magic this time, but even just talking, there's been a couple cool ideas like Pokemon, but 40K would be sweet.
Yeah. Also, Space Poke maybe.
There wasn't one around in old.
Yeah, that comes later, much later.
We'll get there.
But yeah, the main one I was trying to put out was the Chronicles of Ursh. Have you guys read Horus Rising?
Yeah, many years ago, but one of the best. Yeah.
But yeah, the one story, the Chronicles of Ursh, was there was a siege behind with a named techno barbarian commander. He was sieging a city, and a little offshoot of that battle was a fortress with a bunch of sorcerers in it. They were attacked, and they summoned a demon, which killed the guy. And it was probably a Nurdle demon, they say.
Okay.
But I didn't know if that was already talked about or.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. It's been a long time since I read that Horus Rising book, and then I haven't read those other ones. But I kind of always break down 40K lore into two very distinct categories, and I prefer one over the other. We got novels and stuff, and then we got rule books and codexes. And I've always been a fan of the setting more so than the narrative. So when I'm looking for resources and knowledge, I really cling to the codexes or Fantasy Flight Games when they did those Death Watch books. That kind of information is what does it for me more so than just reading about the stories in 40K. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of my jamboree.
That was kind of my piece.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for calling in. We were playing video games the other day. I was watching you play Boltgun. That was pretty funny. It looks like a fun game.
Yeah. My trash skill at video games.
Yeah, well, you make sure that you don't get the Emperor 3% disappointed in you. You got to kill all the heretics. Always remember that. Do we have anyone else who wants to poke their head in on the call-in show?
Jaeger.
Welcome back.
Hey guys. It's a really fun game that you guys played today with the deck and the skinning, so to say. I like that you didn't even try to fiddle with the rules and the balancing and the other shit.
No, that is not the goal.
Yeah. I've been playing Magic since, let me guess, 25 years. So.
Okay, wow.
Or 25 years, rather. And so, I mean, even building a deck, this is where the real skill comes into place. When you build your own deck with your cards, as you mentioned, it is not thematically locked, so you can basically throw everything into each other. If you don't care about a certain theme, everything works more or less, and it's on you to find out which structure and which concept really holds water. So going ahead and just changing the aesthetics and the lore setting is the way to go. And I love the fact that you guys are exploring the old Terra Warlord kind of thing, Unification Wars.
There's just so much there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of on both sides. There is a lot there, but there is also a lot of freedom, so you can fiddle around with different concepts. For example, I was really interested in listening how you tackle the whole tech magas, biomagas concept. You have a lot of mechanicus presence in the deck, and this is something you need to work around a bit. And the way I see the Unification Wars and the way I build my own picture in my head while reading Valder, for example, there is a lot of stuff you can just make up. You know, every techno-barbarian tribe has its, you call them tech savants?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always got to be some weird dude that is just fiddling around with tech, and you don't know where the warp stuff begins or ends.
But, like a nice card, for example, of that would be the Arcoflagellant. Like, what is that going to turn into? It's going to be fun.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's got to be countless examples of poor fellas being lobotomized or just serving as a spare part. I don't know, fundus. So, yeah.
I think with a character like the Arcoflagellants, I think you just use them as like a standard. Oh, these are just our prisoners. If you mess with us, this is gonna happen to you, but with an extra twist. Because with the Old Knight, anything is possible.
Yeah, you can get any type of weird, tiny magical object that just changes a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah, shit was crazy. Yeah.
That's encouraging to hear that this is kind of the right way to go about doing it. Because then the question would be like, with these cards kind of, obviously they're not tournament legal, but would most people kind of accept you using them in your standard circle,
If they are okay with the standard 40k commander deck. I mean,
okay.
I'm a freak. I bought all 4 of them when they came out, the Warlords edition, and my girlfriend and I.
And you will be buying the Warlords of Terra reskin edition too, I'm sure.
Oh, sure, yeah. Try making money with Wizards of the Coast IP. Let's see how far you come with that.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah,
that sounds like a
challenge. Find me in Panama. I got an army of machete wielding, gumboot wearing Panamanians.
Okay, I feel you. I'm an expat in Switzerland, so yeah, I know the vibe.
For my guys, I'm going with like an old timey like diving suit, because like I've been interested in like Lovecraft lately. Just imagine like in the desert, then you see like a whole army of like just battle suits of like messed up old timey divers, like with a big visor, and you just see like we're not even near an ocean, but yet they're hovering above me like a school of sharks.
I just generated a little piece of art for you. Oh, that is bullshit. Never mind. I'm trying to
type in like
big dirty with that one. Yeah, okay, that one's almost a little closer. We're getting closer on these bottom units here and stuff.
They look like scions.
Yeah. What would you change about that? What should I kind of change? Right now, I got grimdark sci-fi technology, Bioshock soldier.
I type in like diamond suits or like the Big Daddy from Bioshock.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Big Daddies.
Yeah, that's what that guy was called. Yeah, okay. That's pretty clunky and cool looking.
Yeah, because that's one of my warlords.
Cool, man.
What's your rationale for like the diving suits in like the wasteland? Like, is there like
my deal was that like they're like nomads trying to like search for humanity's lost oceans or try to revive the lost oceans by collecting any part of the water or being like a precursor to like the water guilds.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that
It can
thing.
even be a cultish thing because you venerate water and you mourn the loss of the aquatic parts of Earth.
Of Earth.
It also gives a bit of a melancholic vibe to it.
This one describes that perfectly. This art, it's clearly a diving suit, but there's not a drop of water anywhere, and it's just that kind of. He almost looks sad. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Is kind of we'll work on it, but is that kind of the right direction of your guys, Mossbox?
Yeah, because for my warlords, they're like a triad. That's like the trident, 3 prongs, whatever. The main warlord is called like the Sunken Lord. He's got the big suit of armor. Then I got 2 other ones that's like a cyber, and another one who makes like the biological monstrosities. Kind of like how in Eight Sigmar they have like the Innodeath. I can't remember the name of the CL. Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, I like this kind of vibe. Yeah, there's like a very tragic, like you said, melancholy nature to it. I'm coming up with.
Because I started listening to like Brothers of the Snake. I'm like more than halfway done with the book and really trying to get like that somewhat creepy feels like you guys in the wrong environment. But like when they invade like country, rival clan, there's going 2 options. They're gonna fight and die or get captured and die. Cause I didn't want to like copy the Freeman from Doom because like I saw both movies. So I tried to figure out like one of the main vibes of 40K and 30K is to like reclaiming old technology, that old way of life before the old night happened, before the vampire happened. Like in the lore I have so far, they can't remember what is real, what's not, because they try to search for like Atlantis, or they're preparing for the Great Flood, or whatever.
No, that's cool. I like that lore, man. Definitely write it up and submit it to the podcast, and I hope, I think everyone who submits something, we're going to make a card for them. And, even just this brief little convo, we've come up with a couple great images. And I hope to do that with everyone who submits something. So if you want to submit, go to lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com and I guess just Gmail us. But
I just haven't completed yet.
Yeah. Well, there's still time. Thankfully. There was basically 2 weeks. So I think we're going to hop to the next person, unless you have one other quick little thought.
So on the part of my lore, I have like where they meet up with the Emperor, Balthador. It's supposed to be like, it's like after they conquered that one place in Africa, because I was inspired by the song by Toto. After they made the deal, it started to rain, and they just partied.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I like it. I'm inspired. Let's move on to the next person, I suppose.
Exo.
I think Echo.
Welcome aboard, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, thanks for joining us. What a rowdy fucking little Discord event we've stumbled into.
Yeah, I just showed up and I saw people and I said, well, "There's the party."
There it is. All right, what do you got for us?
God, I'm still trying to figure out what we're discussing, but can I somehow squeeze Skaven into this?
Yeah, man, like mutants, abhumans. Let's get the old generator working as you talk to me about kind of what you're picturing.
All right. So we're talking about warlords of like pre-unification Terra. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
That's fucking. It looks like something I saw in a children's book.
Man, it's official. It's done.
It's done. I thank Echo for calling in. That was perfect.
Yes, absolutely beautiful.
Did you actually pull off the call? I thought you were joking.
No, he's. Tell me more. We're just joking. I think I gotta include the word like dirty in here. Dirty rat people.
Smelly.
Hey, insult us all you want, but we were number 2 in the end times, so I think that's a good flex on everyone.
Oh, he said the thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the attention of Ray, but I guess that didn't summon him.
No, you gotta say, say something more heinous like Space Wolves.
Oh, talk shit about Space Wolves? I love talking shit about Space Wolves.
Hey, easy.
We all know what they are. It's not worth repeating though. Furries. They're not worth our breath. Furries.
See, Space Wolves, as a salamander, we do the whole animal symbolism thing correctly. We just use it. We don't make it our entire personality. Even though our entire personality is melting children.
Here we go. This one's a little more.
Eldar children.
On that note, though, guys, nothing says furries can't be a faction in Old Earth. So
yeah.
Oh,
keep in mind.
Is this what does it for you? This one right here?
Gothic furry. Oh, you can spell person wrong. I don't be that guy, but.
Yeah, I kick this guy out. Get him out of here. I'm done with him. Who's up next?
Be gone.
Excellent. I fade to black.
Oh man. We have 4 more minutes left, and then that's kind of the end of the stream. So if we have anyone else or Moxbox, if you want to be a serious human, you can try again.
Okay, sci-fi grimdark rat person, sci-fi furry, maybe scheming, because I don't know like what's the main vibe. Because like you can't have scheming without them being backstabby and stealing.
Scheming and stealing. Okay, what is this gonna come up with?
Spelling me, dude.
Not
scheming.
Scheming or skeeving?
I guess both apply.
Yeah, we'll put in both. Skeeving. Oh, that one is almost a little better. What?
Can you put in freaking just Skaven? Will it just, is there a copyright block or something on it?
I would imagine there is. Let's see what happens when they do Skaven. What?
That looks like some type of hybrid between a Skaven and something like a lizardman.
Oh, hello, Nurgle.
Yeah.
The crazy part is I could believe that's a creature in Old Earth.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be one of our Pokemon cards we're making.
That looks like something you find in the vault of a bad Magus biologist.
Yeah, man.
It even got armor. It's a corrupted salamander.
Okay, let's generate one more Skaven one, and then let's jump to the one last person before we close out the show. How does this image make us all feel?
I'm not sure.
What?
Is that like Skaven mixed with the Lizardmen?
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, Skaven Lizardmen. There we go. All right, last. Anyone else would like to have any input?
That's actually pretty sweet.
That's cool.
I like that.
I think that looks pretty good for like a chaos salamander group.
It's like some Hydra shit.
Yeah, man.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Mark, you just want to move that one over to your FAP folder for later?
Yeah. We will copy that for later. Well, Any last person want to ask a question, or we're gonna wrap it up? Going once, going twice. Sold. Well, no, that was awesome. Thank you guys all for joining our event, and we had a lot of fun. I think we made some serious progress on this deck today, and kind of narrowed in what our goal is, and how to actually make it happen. I think so. That's been productive. Basically, you have 2 weeks to write in some Warlords of Old Terra lore, and then you can submit to lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com, and then we are going to probably do another episode like this, where we read those lores and then come out with a winner. But maybe that will happen on Listener Lore Podcast. We're not totally sure how that's going to play out. But either way, next Friday night, we are going to return to our scheduled programming. We're going to do the Octarius War on Patreon, live stream that, go back to kind of the main episode. So hope we all see you there. Christian, thank you for joining me. As always, you're insightful, creative, and also sometimes just like awful to be around. So it's been good.
I'm a mixed bag.
What kind of backhanded compliment was that?
I think that was a full face insult. It's not even backhanded.
Yeah. Just Mark, do it better. How do I do it better, Mark? Why am I in charge of talking to the chatbot and telling it what to do? I can't read it. And Gerald, thanks for joining us for reading and kind of running the behind the scenes there and taking over James's spot. Appreciate that.
Phase 1 complete. We're now moving to phase 2.
Gerald the goat.
Yeah. Who would have known James could be so easily replaced? He needs to work double time now.
Little did they know
And
it was sabotage.
it was the whole time.
All according to plan.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. And I think, we'll see you all next Friday night at 8:30 Standard Central Time. It's been fun. We'll see you all later.